Hi, I'm Mark Galis, Sony Global Imaging Ambassador. I have Sony's FE1224 f4G lens here. It's an ultra-wide zoom and it's going to be really popular with photographers interested in maybe architecture or landscape because of that extreme angle of view. Now if I compare this with Sony's 1635 f4 lens, you can see they're pretty much the same physical size. The 1224 is a fraction heavier, but it is just a fraction and you may not notice the weight difference if you already own the 1635 f4 lens. Now I'm comparing the physical size with the lens hood on of the 1635, and the reason I'm doing that comparison is the lens hood on the 1224 is non-detachable, and that is because of the bulbous front element which gives that extreme angle of view, and therefore the lens hood is non-detachable to protect that front element. It also means that we can't use screw-in filters such as ND filters that you may be used to using with maybe the 1635 wide-angle zooms. There is a workaround for this, and you can see that to my right, which is to invest in a filter system. There is also another workaround, which is to use one of Sony's apps, such as the Smooth Reflection app, that can give a sort of an ND long exposure effect by stacking multiple frames captured with a shorter duration shutter speed. Okay, so there are many workarounds if you are interested in that extreme angle of view. Now I've tested this lens, and as we would expect from a G lens, it is a very, very sharp piece of glass, and that is what most landscape and architectural photographers would expect from a lens like this. Now I'll just attach this to my Sony a7R II, basically a marriage made in heaven, large resolution and good glass. And you can see here, it's a nice bit of kit. If you are going to invest in that filter system, I have one here that was created by Nissi. They've been very quick off the mark because obviously they've looked at the potential market for such a lens and filter combination. It's quite quick to attach, as you can see from there. Just screw in. Once it's tight onto that lens hood, you can still rotate that if you're using graduated filters, and you need to put that graduated filter at an angle, or maybe even rotate a polarizing filter. Particularly, I'm just interested in the ND filters. The A7R II has got such a huge dynamic range. I tend to just underexpose by a stop to protect the sky detail, and then or lift the shadows in post-production. Okay, so I have some ND filters in here, carefully loaned to me by Nissi, and this one will just drop into the top of the filter holder. Okay, it's always hard doing these type of actions when you're doing a movie review. Now always use the rear slot. There's slots for a couple of filters in these filter holders. Just use the rear slot first. You are going to get a few artifacts of light creeping in behind that filter if you put it in the forward slot. Okay, so as you can see from the images I'm posting, this gives us the flexibility to do those long exposures, 30 seconds or longer, in the twilight or even earlier in the day. Okay, so I've been using, as I said, this 1224 on a number of shots. I'm very impressed with this lens. Obviously, it does take a little bit of extra effort and maybe skill to build your image. These ultra-wide angle landscape shots don't really work unless you've got a great foreground to place close to the camera. Because remember, your distant subject matter, maybe your focal point, is going to be a lot further away in the perspective. But that steep perspective gives a really compelling look for a lot of landscapes, as you can see from the images I'm posting. Okay, so I'm very impressed with this lens. Take a look at the full resolution examples I'm going to post to a Flickr album. I'll also try and post links to a couple of raw files so that if you're interested in how sharp, you can simply download that raw file, zoom in on your own computer and assess whether this lens is going to deliver the sort of image quality that you're looking for in an ultra wide angle lens. Okay, I'm Mark Gaylor, Sony Global Imaging Ambassador, and I'll catch you online next time.